Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Cormier, petitioner for the class action with Longueuil, Greenfield Park, and the estate of Francois Lamar. Today is May 22nd, which means we have 25 days for victims to come forward and reach out to lawyers and submit their claim forms. I think I'm going to make a short video today and share some of the things that I've picked up and learned over time. Hopefully they're helpful. And I just want to start by emphasizing that childhood trauma has a huge impact. The abuse that a child suffers at a young age, it literally changes the chemistry and changes the arc of a child's life completely. It throws things off course. There's a terrible myth about the true impact and the damage because it's such a silent, invisible type of damage. It's not like a broken bone. You can't see it. Time and time again, I'm hearing from victims and some teammates as well from this Greenfield Park coach who have been victimized, and they minimize and they downplay the impact and the severity of the assaults that took place in their early lives. You know, we continue to speak and during the conversation, I learn of multiple marriages and struggles with addiction, financial difficulties, and work-related issues. They either can't keep jobs or they bounce jobs, and some of them are having difficulty finding new employment, which gets more difficult with age, of course. Somehow they're unable to connect the dots of why these life difficulties occur. As I begin to discuss some specifics of why they're happening and these things are happening in their lives, there's usually a silence because they're immediately reassessing everything that they've suffered, but they couldn't understand things that had happened before I mentioned them. It's not the victim's fault. Please understand that there is no shame. They did nothing wrong. None of the victims did anything wrong, and they should have no shame. It's not their shame to burden, this burden is not their shame to carry any longer. They were children, innocent children. They have no chance with this predator coach and cop continually hovering around and being around kids wherever they were at the arena and facilities around the arena. This Greenfield Park coach caused a lot of turmoil in my life, and it got worse with time. Don't believe anybody who makes a claim that time heals all wounds. That's an old wives' tale. It's a stupid statement that people repeat. Dumb people that are too afraid to deal with their own issues, and they make these crazy claims like "get over it." You can't get over it unless you're getting the help that's required. If there are any victims out there listening to this video, please know that I'm here if you need to reach out to me at any time. Don't give up. If you have suicidal thoughts, please be careful. Those are dangerous, dangerous thoughts. There were several in Greenfield Park that operated on those thoughts, sadly. So please never feel like you can't reach out to me if you don't have a support system of your own. I'm happy to help, happy to listen, happy to talk anytime. You have to admit what happened with this coach. As an innocent child, you have to do something different to change your life and the course of your life. You deserve some peace. You deserve some stability in your life. It comes with honesty, first and foremost. You have to tell yourself the truth. You have to be honest. And then try and open up to the closest people with you. They'll understand. And they're going to be your support system. I know how terrifying picking up the phone and speaking with lawyers can be, but I promise you're going to be relieved instantly and met with huge understanding and compassion by Pierre and Emily. And if you haven't seen my earlier videos, please go back and watch. You can see them on my first video, and you'll get a good understanding of their personality from that video. They're very, very understanding and helpful and knowledgeable. The help that's offered by these lawyers is completely free, and you can even call anonymously to start if you're still so afraid or uncertain. You can ask the questions and realize how confidential the process is. It's a tough, vulnerable call to make. I understand. I get it. Believe me, I get it. It may also be the first time that you've told anyone these deep stories that have been buried for decades. But I promise you this, it's a life-changing step. I'm being vocal now because I'm getting close to the point where I can speak more freely. I've stayed out of the news on this case by design. I had to be careful not to compromise the case and saying things that I shouldn't, because I don't have a good filter. I speak my mind. I've stood up to opposing lawyers and I loved every second of it. But I never wanted to jeopardize any victims getting their settlements and the help that they desperately need or deserve. So as painful as it often was to read the news articles, watch TV clips, hear radio interviews, I continued to stay silent. Aside from my lawyer speaking in those segments, much of everything else that you heard was self-serving and void of fact quite often. So please, speak to the people who know and can help. Understand that this Greenfield Park coach was active for 50 years. He preyed upon a community. He fooled an entire town who believed that he was an amazing guy, a great cop, and a protector. He normalized his behavior, his sexual assaults. He was conducting them right in the open for everyone to see. Parents in that era thought that pedophiles and predators were weird, dirty, poorly dressed guys hiding in bushes, or they were driving around offering candies and puppies to kids. Well, I think we all know now that that is not true. Predators are right in front of you, and they blend in, and quite often they are part of your friend group or your family even. This cop coach blended what he was doing to kids right into the background of the arena. He blended into the background of the arena. He continually normalized his assaults. Everyone saw it, but they all laughed it off. They played it off as a coach playing with and play fighting with his players or players who aspired to be on his teams. What he did was he created a mass confusion because he was grabbing children's crotches right in front of parents, right in front of Eddie's snack bar. Anyone in Greenfield Park knows what I'm referring to when I say Eddie's. So a kid naturally is going to be very, very confused. People are seeing him grabbing my private parts. I know I've been told that's probably not the thing to do, but no one seems to have a problem with it, so it must be okay. He would also tickle kids. He would make them laugh. And then he would sneak in the fondling of the genitals. So once again, kid is confused. He's laughing. He's not hurt. He's not injured. So it can't be bad. I'm laughing, so it must be okay. The parents saw it. Everything's fine. Let's keep doing it. What he did in the arena was grooming stage one. He hunted day and night. He wrestled with dozens of kids at a time, all day and all night. He would stand in the arena for hours, all weekend long, while team after team played their games and new pools of kids would show up to give him the attention that he desired. It was a bizarre situation. Parents were seemingly pushing their kids to this coach. Even though they were seeing him wrestling, they ignored it. It's not normal behavior to have a 30-something-year-old grown-up professional cop or in any profession hanging around with 9 and 10-year-old kids wrestling and having no adult friends of his own. I was shocked to learn in later years, as I was trying to get this arrest done, that some of the parents back in those days actually knew what he was doing. They stayed silent. They protected their own kids. They warned them to stay away, not to go to his house, not to play fight with him. I don't think any of them ever went to the police to stop the behavior completely. I think they were quite satisfied that as long as it didn't happen to my kid, that's all right. But in their defense, I think perhaps these parents were somewhat afraid of his cop status. Guys, the impact is real. You can't kid yourself. The impact is real. What happened to you is also real. There is no longer a stigma about coming forward and telling your story. It is much easier than you think it's going to be, I promise you. It's not like television. It's some very, very compassionate lawyers who have taken many, many calls by now. They know what they're going to hear when you call. And now I want you to know something that about the videos I've been posting, and I'm asking people constantly to share the information, share the videos. And victims have come forward in the last 24 to 48 hours. And I was shocked to learn that these victims had not even heard of the arrest of this professional pedophile that happened in 2019. So obviously they had no idea about the lawsuit, the settled lawsuit. So this was all news to them. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of victims out there. Most have no idea about this Greenfield Park news. Most have moved away, broke all ties, never returned to visit. I understand why. And I know of a lot who moved away and never returned. So keep in mind, someone sharing my videos this past week unknowingly changed the lives of these victims. Without them sharing my videos, these victims would not have known. So if you think sharing the videos and the information is a waste of time, I'm telling you it is not. It has worked this week, and I'm asking for everyone's help again. Please, just take a moment or two that it takes to share the videos and get the information. And it literally takes seconds to post. And please encourage your own friend groups to do the same. We're not all connected, but we do have some connections that are common, but we just don't know who's in our friend group and who those connections are going to reach. So that's all I have for you today. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to share some stats for you. Now, granted, Canada is somewhat behind in tabling these stats. These are primarily from the US. There's a couple that I have that are from Canada. Let's start with 1 in 3 girls sexually abused before the age of 18. 1 in 5 boys sexually abused before the age of 18. Now I have an asterisk next to that one because I am told it's a very low number, because as we know with this Greenfield Park case, guys are afraid to speak up and don't talk. So with all the dressing rooms and athletic activities that boys have with coaches and camps and various outings, I think 1 in 5 is low, but we'll go with 1 in 5 for the time being. 90% of child abuse victims know their predator. As I mentioned earlier, it could be someone in the family, could be an uncle, could be a coach, it could be a teacher, it's not a stranger. It's very rare that these things occur and they're completely unknown to the family. This is a staggering one. 8% of victims who do not receive treatment of childhood sexual abuse will reoffend as adults and continue the horrible cycle. I'm told that that's a low number because it's hard to report. No one's going to admit to that. So another difficult one to prove, but estimates from professionals in the field suggest that 8% will reoffend if not treated. And I'm going to leave you with this staggering number. A typical pedophile will commit 117 sexual crimes in his lifetime. A typical pedophile will have a 2 to 3 year run before being caught. Now, this is not to say that the pedophile will not reoffend if he goes to jail, and jail is a very low percentage for even the worst of offenders. For instance, Graham James was sentenced to only 42 months for his horrific crimes that lasted many, many years with kids that were older. Sheldon was, 17, 18 when I believe it finished. So I've been suggesting, based on information from professionals in the field, that Greenfield Park pedophile coach had a minimum victim count of 1,500. I think that's low. So far, it's, I'm having difficulty getting people to come forward. Now, keep in mind, the Greenfield Park professional pedophile was active for 50 years. He never stopped. He was never stopped, and he never obviously served jail time. So he remained active to the day he was arrested, maybe even afterwards. Who knows? This means that, based on stats alone, there is the potential victim count of 1,950 to 2,925, just on stats alone by true professionals. I'm saying minimum 1,500. That works with the numbers. That works certainly in the parameter of the numbers. So guys, this is worse than people want to acknowledge, and it went on longer than anyone wants to admit. But we all know what happened, and we all saw it, and it's time, guys. Please make the call. Please reach out to me, anyone at any time. I spoke with a gentleman earlier this week. So I'm doing my part. I'm trying to help. I'm here if you need me. Otherwise, please reach out to Pierre and Emily, and we're all here to help. And I'll try and post a couple more videos down the stretch here, but I'm here if anyone wants me. Thanks for listening. Have a good day. Bye for now.